If you do beautiful permanent makeup, but you really don't understand the math behind getting new clients, cost per lead, cost per booking, and return on investment, I'm going to break this down in a very simple way in this video. So, this will be one of the biggest mindset shifts that will actually help you understand permanent makeup marketing and how to be most profitable. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is how my leads turn into clients, what that actually costs, what that looks like, why follow up is mattering more than most artists even realize, and what I'm paying per lead and how many of those actually turn into paying full price, paying clients using meta ads. So, this is a strategy that I've been working on for the past year and a half. It books me every single month consistently. I'm talking 15 to 20 new full price clients every single month. So if there's something you should watch and there's something that you should invest in as far as business knowledge, marketing knowledge, and permanent makeup, this is it. Okay. So step one, the basics. What is a lead? It's someone who's interested, right? Whether you set up your campaign as a message campaign, as a lead form campaign, any way that you are basically advertising yourself and capture a person of interest, that's a lead. So, like I said, they might message you, fill out a form, just kind of raise their hand, give you their information, whatnot. Step two is my real numbers. So, what does it cost to actually acquire someone who's raising their hand? Now, this is going to be a little bit different for a typical like message campaign. What I'm running is a lead form. So, someone will actually give me their information in exchange for sort of claiming my free consultation. So, it's costing me about $4.50 per lead, and 1 out of every 12 becomes a client. Okay, I'm talking full price, deposit down, I'm fulfilling the appointment. So, that is really promising. But let's break that number down a little bit more, because let's scroll over here to Ads Manager. And what I want to show you here is like my actual stats. So you can see here I've spent $7,000. And these are kind of just all a bunch of the ads that I test to see what works best. Now, all the ads that I test, it's not really like some fail. It's just some can do a lot better than others. As you can see, there's some $7 lead forms here, there's some $6, but really where a lot of my leads have come from, as you can see, from 374 just from this one ad, all for under my average cost. So basically what we're looking at in here is, how much I spent. I spent about $900 a month on these ads. And then what each variation is looking like. So I make a bunch of different ads based on kind of what's working for me. And I'm spending an average of $35 a day. Now, with the stats that I was talking about previously, it's actually me spending around $30 a day. So I recently upped it a little bit. You can expect to just accumulate sort of that booked out status, and being able to raise your prices higher the more booked out you can be. So this is really, really a cool thing that I had discovered and started to understand as I truly started to generate so many bookings. So, like I said, about 1 out of every 12 leads becomes a client. Now, you might be thinking, I don't know if you're thinking that that sounds like a lot or a little, but it basically means like we need to generate 12 times however many clients you want per month, as well as having a very, very strong nurturing system to actually get them in. So this isn't like, people are booking right to my website. There's a bit of a nurture sequence because, again, this is a tattoo on your face. So people want to establish trust with you. They want to be reached out to. They want to be followed up with, or maybe not so much want to, but need to. This is how we actually generate appointments, right? It's not just someone sees your ad once and then they are set. There's always going to be those hot buyers in the moment that are like, "Oh, I've been wanting to do this. Let's book this." But there's also going to be those people who need to be reminded and are actually thankful that you're following up with them and reminding them, because this is something that they want to do for themselves and maybe haven't had the moment to sit down and really plan it all out. So, with this said, my cost per booking is around $60. So I'm spending $60 to acquire not a lead, but a booked appointment. So I'm spending about $450 to get my leads. 1 out of every 12 of those is booking, and then my cost per booking is around $60. So that is actually incredible because, my first session right now is $750. So right there, I'm making $690 in profit, and then that's not including the touch-up either. Again, we do have rent, we have overhead, we have supplies and all of that, but with this setup, it's been able to easily generate me 10 grand months in profit. Now, I did show you my cost per lead, my total spend, my number of leads. Let's go back to this really quick, because if we look at how many leads are just in this campaign for my free consultation campaign. 1,600. I mean, that is, if one of every 12 of these is booking, you can see how many appointments I've booked, and about 67,000 reach. So people are coming onto my Instagram profile. People are just visiting my page. People are seeing my business all the time, right? And my cost per lead is about a little under 450. And this is the average. There's going to be some ads that I've tested that are a little bit higher and some that are a little bit lower. But this is the average. So let's jump back over here again. As I kind of explained, when you're charging $750 to $850, even if you're not charging $750 to $850, you're charging even $500, this is still huge, right? If it costs you $60 to acquire a client and you're doing a $500 appointment, you're still making so much money. You're growing your portfolio. You're slowly booking yourself out to enable yourself to even raise your price. So this is what strategic and smart artists do. They don't wait on referrals. You might see artists with so many thousands of followers on Instagram, but if you don't actually know how to market, it doesn't matter. All of that fame or clout on Instagram, it doesn't really matter. That should not be the goal. The goal is to have something that's actually working and making yourself a business, not just a hobby or a permanent makeup artist who waits on referrals and just waits for things to happen to them. So let's say my ad spend is $900 a month. At around $60 per booked client, I'm doing about 15 new clients. I'm making $11,250 approximately. And then after my ad spend, that calculates to still give me a return. So after I've spent all my money, I'm still getting a return of 10K plus. And again, that's on the lower end for all of these numbers. So my 15 new clients, I'm usually booking between 15 and 20. And again, the ad spend also can vary a little bit as well. So maybe some months I'm not spending as much, and I definitely don't spend as much once my books are full. So I pull back or turn my ads off. So take those things into account too. There's really just so much money to be made with a solid system and properly set up meta ads. Now, what's not included in this number as well is organic bookings, my touch-ups, any add-ons, any other services, and consultation fees. Okay, so a lot of the time I do free consultations. Some of the time I do paid consultations. It really is just depending. I'm kind of always switching things up just based on how booked out I am. But again, my bookings are always out at least 40 days. Right now, closer to 60 days. So I'm like very happy with where I'm at. And I just want to show you that this is all very possible. It's not me here bragging to you. It's just showing you like I didn't have any of this before, and that's why I struggled. And now I have all of this, and there's truly so much potential when you know how to do things right. Lastly, you want to stop looking at ads emotionally. It feels heavy to like spend money every single day. If you think about spending $30 a day, but you're only working 3 days a week, and some people aren't showing up for their consultation, like you live in sort of like this fear, stress, I don't know if this is working type mindset. And this is where you have to just trust the process. When you have everything set in place, it's delivering your results. It will continue to deliver results if you're putting in the work that's needed, right? So this has been huge. I hear this from everybody. I'm spending so much. I feel like, you can't base any of this process on your feelings. You have to look at the facts. You have to look at what works, and you have to trust the process. When you look at what you put in and what you got back out, like if I put in $900 and I'm making back 10 grand, I have to just look at that, look at the numbers month to month, not week to week, not day to day, not how things are feeling right now. It's truly looking at your numbers month to month, okay? And you just have to understand them. You have to understand what's going in and what's coming out, because I talk to so many artists who really don't know. They say they run ads, and I kind of have questions of like, okay, well, how much are you getting in return? What was your return on investment? And when you don't know those numbers, you will forever struggle. What most artists are doing, right? Organic posts, random referrals, guessing, hoping. So they're not tracking that cost per lead, cost per booking, and return. When you get these things in order, I can say it from experience and from teaching so many other artists about it, you will actually start to be profitable and then only optimize from there, okay? Only become even more profitable. Again, what a missed lead is actually costing you. This is huge too, because if you're not on top of follow-up, outreach, what's happening after someone inquires, you're losing so much money already. You might as well not even run your ads because you need to have everything in place before even spending a dime, right? And if one client is $800+ to you and you're missing opportunities by just not following up or answering or outreaching immediately, you're losing, thousands and thousands of dollars, which can take a big chunk out of that return on investment and almost make it not worth it for how much money or how much time you are putting into these procedures. So the key lesson here is it's not the money is not just in getting the leads, it's understanding what they're worth, understanding the process, having a process, following up and converting them properly. Okay. This is actually how you turn ads into predictable income from understanding your numbers and turning those leads into actual clients using meta ads. I will also jump into how to create the best ad creatives and really how to implement every single piece of this process. But starting out, understanding the numbers is very, very important. Now, if you're an artist and you're not struggling, but you're not also thriving, you're not booked out and charging the premium prices that you want, book a call with me because I will break down this entire system, how it's exactly done and how it can exactly plug into your business. This has changed my life. I can't even express how many other artists' lives it's changed as well. It is changing the industry once and for all. Thank God. We're getting rid of the agencies and we're getting actual real systems that work. Okay. So book a call with me. I also have a free ads community. If you're a newer artist, if you're just kind of questioning if all of this is real and if all of this works, try it for yourself. Of course, you're not going to have the AI and all of the components that I use, but you will very quickly realize it's very real. So jump into my community if that's your case, and I'll talk with you soon.